SMITE 2 in its current state of the third weekend alpha is more fun than SMITE 1 in my opinion. I played Thursday and Friday, so a total of 2 days. I made 2 montages out of those games I played. Links will be in the description if you like montages. I got a lot of them in SMITE 1. The gods they tweaked are just better. Examples are Anhur is more interesting with being able to drop his pillar at any time, along with the ultimate feeling more punchy with the last blow. Just the way he leans into that last spear is amazing. Ymir having wall jump and not rooting himself in his 2 is a necessary change and makes him feel like he's not an outdated god. I've said this for years. Ymir shouldn't be rooting himself 3 times with his own kit. It's stupid. How did it take this long? And a whole new iteration of the game. Neith being able to set up multiple weaves with her 2 and being able to blow up with her backflip is a fantastic change. Those are just some of the examples for gods. There are more with a limited amount that they have already out. Build variety in the long run is going to make it easier to spice up the game and change metas. SMITE 2 has a better base than SMITE 1 currently. Support players are going to have a blast playing with actives, giving your team multiple shields, health regen, CC immunity, and it takes skill to be able to use all of these effectively. This is just how competitive games thrive. It's just better this way, personally. Out of all the roles, support got the most love, with items having an activation effect like AoE beads. Not like in SMITE 1, where you have to expend an ultimate to use that. It's just different. Nobody really used it. It was kind of a niche thing. Wasn't really that cool in that aspect. The pace of the game is great. They do need to make towers tankier, just a small amount. You should get punished if you are getting smoked in lane and sent back or dying 3 to 4 times in 12 minutes. Currently, you can destroy a tower if you get 2 kills on your laner and no one comes to help defend the tower, and you are just relentless at trying to take it down. So I would say that that's probably the worst thing in terms of the pacing. Make the towers a little bit tankier. Keep the gold when hitting these little check marks, these checkpoints on the towers. Kind of like in League, that's just, it's a good thing. It really is. Nothing bad can be said about it. Another huge topic that is dividing the community right now is whether Combat Blink should be a thing. Combat Blink adds skill expression, punishes those that use it poorly, and rewards aggressive play when used correctly. Combat Blink allows better players to dominate the game way more than beads ever will. In my opinion, they should keep the option between beads and Combat Blink, just like in this alpha. Beads is just less interesting than Blink, and it always will be. When you CC chain someone and they beads it, it feels bad. People who are caught out of position should get punished. Team play should be necessary to get them out of those sticky situations. If they get hit by a hard CC, it should hurt. If a Fenrir hits a level 5 and he ganks you when you were at their tower line, you should get picked up, dragged into tower, eat all the mid laner's abilities while you're in Fen's mouth, and die if he lands stun and ults. You can blink the jump if you're out of position or something like that. There's still outplay potential if you're playing like Cuckoo or something in mid. But it's just so stupid how people with these bum reaction times get to just beads and then they're safe. Like, no. Make them have skill, react to something in a timely manner. It's just cooler. The game with beads is just much safer and it makes it much easier to play. Blink has the potential to be aggressive and defensive. The best of both worlds. I just don't see the argument for people wanting beads over Blink. The game is slower, the plays aren't as cool. You can't be as aggressive with beads as you can with Blink. And I could go on and on about this, but I've already spent too much time on it. I just wanted to give you guys my 2 cents on SMITE 2's progress. Overall, the changes are great, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I'm enthralled and hope the game succeeds. SMITE 1 was fun, and I played it for a decade. That's crazy to say that. The game still feels like SMITE at its core, with more potential for good players to shine. It's a good time. This was one of the games I played, and I feel like doing an old school commentary over it. So I'm just going to transition into talking about the gameplay in this video, and a little bit more about like the feeling of it and all that. But this is kind of going off the script, talking off the cuff. But yeah, let's get started with that. So from the majority of the games I played, most junglers would start speed side. So I always started red red gives more damage with the buff doing max HP damage, and you can just double invade their red pretty much every single time, because a lot of the people just didn't know what they were doing. They kind of were like, okay, I start speed because I'm the jungler and I'll just do my camps, maybe gank duo, maybe gank mid. So I kind of got away with a little bit of superior strategy, I would say. Since red gives you max HP damage, like even if their jungler comes over after doing speed, you are going to smoke them. A lot of people don't use health potions early on too. Like they struggle with that. So you're at least getting a blink if they really try contesting you.
Now, personally, I would say that the games in Conquest are a lot more, like, kill-heavy. None of them were really slow, but that could just be to the point of people are trying to figure out the game again. It's not too much different to the point to where people who play Conquest a lot are going to be like, whoa, what is this? No, not really. It's more so there's probably a lot of arena players that just want to feel the new gods out and just how the game looks, how it feels, stuff like that. So this is just tough. It's tough to determine the pace, how much the kills are actually going to be, because these aren't like all normal Conquest players that are in the queues when they're playing. That was tragic and the worst play of the game from me by far. Spoilers. Ain't gonna see nothing worse than that, brother. Total scrub moment. I even lost with Bloodforge. Zeus, his combo now, it's way less brain dead. So the best way to get somebody off you if you're not going to use your ult, you want to auto 1 and then instantly use your 2 and then press your 3. This gets you 3 stacks the quickest way possible. It stuns them and then you're just wailing on them with auto attacks. So I think the Zeus change is another beautiful thing. It just makes the game feel more skill-based, for sure. And he can also go strength-based now with auto attacks and crit people with lightning. It's nice, it's unique, I like it. We ain't missing that in Vale, brother. A nice moment to showcase it. I only got 1 item completed. It's 8 minutes in, and the tower's just falling. Like a frickin', like a house of cards. I didn't want to take his wave, but I could have taken the tower. I just chose, hey, I'm gonna try to go over and gank. Instead of yakking that guy's stuff.
Set up an ambush here.
Beautiful patience, nice gank from the Athena. And they're good. It does feel really bad playing Athena, man. Like, currently, I think she's the most jank character in the game right now. It would be super cool if they made it to where as soon as you ult, the camera kind of orbits around the player that you're ulting to. You can still move it. And it just give a better perspective of the fight, make it look more cinematic, more interesting for the Athena instead of just sitting there charging up while you're ulting across the map. I don't know. I think it's possible to do as well. Or maybe just make it an option to where you can do that. Like right-clicking, since you can't cancel that ability. Right-click to orbit the camera around the teammate that you're ulting. Or right-click again to see what's going on in front of you. I've had some, what I think, decent ideas with Athena. They should change her ult so it doesn't explode anymore. Upon impact, still give the same like stats, movement speed, defense for your teammates, stuff like that. But upon landing, you have a dash charged up. If you miss the dash, you don't get a second one. If it connects, you do. And the dash turns into like an AoE explosion when it lands. Just so that way there's not as much emphasis on your teammate being in range of being able to hit people, because most of the time you're kind of ulting a carry if they're getting dove by somebody. I mean, you can ult assassins, of course, and that's still a good option. Like, if you're ulting a carry and they just jump out of the fight, it just feels bad. Like, you kind of feel like you wasted your ult, so at least it gives you, like, a charge, and you can use it. That'll be your source of damage. It's in your hands. This was a massive bait by my teammate there. I should not have done that. A tad bit unlucky. We didn't play well at all either, though. Me more so. It is what it is. Speed buff feels good. The camps feel good. Only real thing, if you're playing a melee god, trying to leash doesn't feel that good right now. They definitely got to fine-tune that.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
But overall, it's acceptable. Missed the impale. Unlucky. Still smoke him. The sound quality is nice too. Like, I can hear Thana ult clear as day. Like, he ain't ever sneaking up on me. So, it's interesting. I don't know how that didn't stop him, but I wonder if they should actually reduce the range at which people hear you Thana ult. Either that or give them more movement speed in the air, which is a funny thing. A lot of, like, Thana can get a ton of movement speed, is what I'm trying to say. He can get 1,000. And just in the air, he looks like an actual bird flying through the sky. With a freaking jet engine blowing him too, giving him momentum. It's good though. Just all fun and games here. Can't really tell how good the competitive scene is going to be just yet, like I said, because there's no skill-based matchmaking. But I think the foundation is there. Another thing that's super weird, why are they not letting the community choose the gods?
Okay.
I get it. You have certain ones that you're working on, but once you finish working on them, you have a whole community that would be willing to tell you, hey, we want this god in. The majority of people just put it to a vote. We want this god. It's so strange. Like, I think Ajax was talking about that too. He was like, yeah, I know. We might put in 2 mages in a row or 3 or something like that. It really just depends on how we feel. And I took that like, why are you guys talking about putting stuff in for the community and stuff and gameplay wise? Just let us ask for the gods that we want as well. It's so weird. It was almost like a power thing. They were like, yeah, we're making this. It's like, dude, fucking let the community. Let the community do it, brother. And I'm sure there'll be somebody who somehow has an opposing argument on that. But it is one. Like I said, I understand if they were working on gods and they weren't announcing SMITE 2 yet. But now that SMITE 2's announced, finish working on who you are currently working on and then have the list already there. You're not going to be able to put out more gods than requests. It's just not going to happen. It's easier to say, hey, I want Opwash in the game, and then you guys have to work on them when you got 30 other requests coming in. So it's just, I can't. Somebody please explain it to me. Like, why are they doing that? It also sucks that Loki got put in the game. Morgan got put in the game. I refuse to play that god.
She's the most busted. Somehow this is another, you know, not really popular opinion, but pick any OP god that you want in the game, the one that's the most OP. Morgan has that kit +1. And she has stealth, her own kit, like I said. Stealth is just bullshit in MOBAs, it shouldn't be a thing. It's whack. As a matter of fact.
How unfortunate. Attack fire giant.
So yeah.
Enemy ultimate
Like
incoming.
Morgan is like, you go in stealth, you press your 2 button, you apply a debuff, auto attack. You don't even need to stun, brother. And then you can go in and engage with a tank kit, and you'll just win the fight. And if it's not over by then, you get out of your form, you got a whole nother kit ready. It's such a disgusting kit. It should not be in a MOBA. Like, I think out of all the gods, she should have a rework and just completely change her identity. IMO, change all the stealth characters.
Hades welcomes me.
There was some item that I didn't get to try out for like supports where you turned into a goat or something like that, or a ram. Like, you did some stampede move. I only saw it once. I was like, what was that? I saw somebody try to run away with it. I think it gives you CC immunity or something. It has to. It didn't look good. But it was. It was. Who is building that item? So yeah, guys. I'm open to chatting in the comments. I'm not looking for hate, though. Don't just come in here and say, oh, your takes are garbage and you're bad and you're stupid and blah, blah, blah. It's just my opinion, man. It's on a game. I'm going to be there for the next alpha unless something like life-changing happens or tech issues, something like that. Hopefully nothing happens along those lines, but I'm planning on being there for the next alpha. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.